Ella, it's a great honor to be presenting your exhibition here, which opened last night. So, as you know, I've followed your work for 15 years, and you're prominently featured in our Unrealism book and some of our other projects. And for a long time, as you know, I wanted to present an ambitious show of yours here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
You're in a very upbeat mood with this work, with the theme of seesaw.
Yeah. Or it's up and down, but definitely there's some ups.
The seesaw paintings. So you were playing with the connection between drawing, even illustration, and painting.
Yeah.
So these evoke the fashion illustrations from the 1950s, and kind of there's a perception of speed, and I also like this trope of tearing pages out from a spiral notebook.
Yes, yes. This I've been working with the idea of kind of the interplay between painting and drawing, which is which. What is painting? What is drawing? For a long time now, and this is definitely, I think, the seesaw is a completely new sort of motif.
Tell us about these subjects. So, are they invented? Do you use live models? Do you photograph people on a seesaw? How do you generate these images?
That's so funny. No, I mostly, I would say 90% of the time, I work from my own sketches. So everything you see is from a drawing that exists, that is my drawing. And then the idea is, I refer to it as the idea, which is for me is like a kind of the starting point for a painting. In this case, seesaw in itself it's such a strong. There's something very geometric about it. You know, immediately to me that was like, oh, there's a diagonal or it could be a line. It's very. There's already something so visual about it. I don't necessarily know how they're gonna look when I start, even though I have the sketch, but the sketch is usually not in color, and it's just the sketch of the general kind of figures, and then I have to sort of solve the painting. And I just knew that there would be two diptychs two seesaw paintings that would be on this equilibrium happening between the two figures, which is this, when the seesaw is kind of in that.
Let's look at this other body of work, of women on street corners.
So,
and this is also somehow very French.
I guess, yes, somehow.
And is this from this famous Helmut Newton
photograph?
It
is. It's just very funny because I didn't necessarily, I wasn't seeking out that specific photograph, but it was just I was already working on street corners as a kind of a idea, and then a friend sent me that image, and it was just kind of like, oh look, remember that great street corner? I was like, yep, and I just sketched it, and it was kind of like almost like a game, like, yeah, well, here's that. But then this painting specifically is painted from my sketch of that.
It's fascinating to make a painting of a drawing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure I know many other artistic references where a painter has made a painting of a drawing like you have at this scale. Now with the other two street corner paintings here, you're really playing with the light.
Yes, I was thinking actually very specifically of Los Angeles and sort of kind of a blinding light, of the overwhelming light quality here. That is, this one is very direct. It's a kind of a almost like like I can't take this. This one's called Bright, and then this one with all this dappled light. I was really somehow fascinated by reds and their shadows, and the variations in red, terracotta, and this type of red, and this. There's something very, I don't know, atmospheric in that. So.
The backgrounds also remind me of Alex Katz's landscape
Yeah,
paintings.
yeah, of course, yeah. Definitely. As soon as I painted, I was like, oh, Alex Katz. It didn't occur to me until I'd done it, because the scales, so he paints such large, these light effects, and it's just a very specific thing, but I immediately go, oh, well, yeah.
And this painting seems to have been inspired by the Yves Saint Laurent Mondrian dress.
Oh, yeah. The Mondrian dress was on my mind, but I didn't want to quote it too directly. I'd been sort of painting large plaid patterns also for a while now. I sort of feel like I do connect it. Like, I don't necessarily plan the references, but I do feel like there's a connection. It starts occurring to me as I work on the painting. So I was thinking of, and then I even looked up the poster, but after the fact, not before.
I saw this skeleton in the closet painting in your studio, and I was amazed. And I encouraged you to run with this series for our exhibition. Of course, that's a great title for a series, Skeletons in the Closet. And this is a skeleton in the closet. And we talked about your interest in women's fashion, kind of inspiration you get with the patterns and shapes. Now, were you just inspired by this phrase? Are there skeletons in your own closet?
Well, I definitely think there's skeletons in everyone's closet, or should be, or it's not a very interesting life if there aren't any skeletons. But looking at James Ensor, who I love, and he obviously painted a bunch of skeletons, and some were like pretty directly. I was having, my private conversation with Ensor, and in a couple of those, especially these. That one, there was a kind of almost like a direct wink at Manet, because there was a specific painting with those leggings and with that brown, that with the figure dressed in those exact colors that I was literally sort of, again, having this my own private conversation with. And then fashion again, which, to me there's something very funny in that she's pulling that dress and sort of considering what to wear, and that just happens to be that there's something else. And I don't know, I like having like a kind of a private joke with myself with all the work.